Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks! Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that decides to take a quick nap before recording and then wakes up in a cold sweat.
Okay.
I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. Anna, are you in a cold sweat?
No, I've rediscovered my love of Pokemon Go, so that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, you need to explain more, because you're at like step 19 of a story that we've been running through since before we recorded.
I bought those. Okay, don't come for me. Okay, I didn't know that there was a strike until it was too late. I bought some Pokemon Oreos because I am a slave to Oreos. You know, I'm a slave for Oreos. So I'm vibing with them. We were looking into which Oreos were the rarest. Apparently, people are trying to sell a Mew for $100,000. I don't have any of those. I believe I just ate a Pancham and somebody else. I don't remember. Maybe a Squirtle. And then I opened my Pokemon Go, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Thank you.
You know, they call people that eat entire trays of cookies Panchams.
Boo, that's me, though. IQ, that's me.
Also joining us today for the next 4 episodes, so you better like his voice.
Or else.
Austin Doughty. Hi, Austin. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I am not in a cold sweat. I don't know what Dan was referring to, but I was here on time and ready to go.
Yeah.
I did not accidentally take a nap and was late by 20 minutes. That would never happen. I'm a great first impression. Fantastic.
It's okay.
Oh, no. What do you say? It's okay? I'm fine. I'm good.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I don't know who I'm talking about.
I'm not still shaking. I'm good. I'm totally composed.
No.
Your
the
screen
composure
is just,
level.
it's like there's an earthquake going on at your desk.
It's
It's just constant wobbling.
God.
That's right. Northbrook, Illinois is famous for its earthquakes, so that makes a lot of sense, actually.
It is. I was in an earthquake yesterday. There was an earthquake here.
Again?
Yeah.
Where are you again, Dan?
I'm in Los Angeles now.
Word.
Yes. But there are constant earthquakes. They're just very small, and I don't realize it until after the fact.
When was your first one?
The first one that I noticed was like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I didn't realize it until like an hour afterwards, because I thought that I had just like fallen asleep and then jerked back awake, because it just kind of felt like a bump, like you went over a speed bump in a car, but I was on a patio and not driving. And then I went inside and I asked my girlfriend, I was like, did you feel something? She was like, yeah, I think I did. Did
you say she slept through it or something?
I think she
Oh, no,
have.
that was last week. That was
another earthquake. Please, get your earthquakes straight.
God, sorry, my bad.
But then I checked online, there was like a magnitude 3 something earthquake. Not close, but, you know. The earth is moving, to quote, I was going to say Gail King, but that's Oprah's friend. To quote Carol King, I feel the earth move under my feet.
Oh, my God.
Not Gail. I mean, maybe Gail said it, you know? You never know.
She might have.
She could be vibing with Carol.
She could. Oh, my God. She's on CBS this morning.
She's also not the only king we're talking about. What is
I was going to say, come on, someone spike it. Let's go.
The movie that we are talking about today is technically the first time that we're not talking about a movie. We're talking about a TV miniseries.
Killing it.
Although on Hulu, it's listed as one movie. So if you watched all of it on Hulu, congrats. We're only talking about the first half, because we're talking about 1990's It. First aired on November 18th, 1990. Written by Lawrence D. Cohen and Tommy Lee Wallace. both of whom sound like presidential assassins.
Oh, no.
Starring a lot of people. Richard Thomas, Jonathan Brandis, Annette O'Toole, Emily Perkins, John Ritter, not Jay Ryan. Who plays the young John Ritter?
Don't come for me. I only know 3 men in this movie.
The actor who plays the young John Ritter. Harry Anderson, America's King, Seth Green, Dennis Christopher, Adam Farazel, Tim Reed.
And I got so excited at
Listen,
the
that's
name.
the dad on Sister, Sister, and he's Venus Flytrap on WKRP in Cincinnati. Shout out to Tom.
He is.
Thank you.
And he was on That 70s Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played Hyde's dad.
You know who else was on That 70s Show? Seth Green.
That's true.
Wow. Just racking them up.
I'm not done. Marlon Taylor, Richard Mazur, Ben Heller, Olivia Hussey?
Oh, no, not Hussey.
Go with Hussey.
Tony Dakota, Michael Cole, and Jared Blanchard, among other people. It has I normally give the, how much money it made at the box office. Well, it cost $100 million to make, according to Wikipedia, which seems far too much
That
for
seems very high.
1990.
Wow.
That seems a little steep.
Right?
Wow. Really?
$12 million. Sorry. It had a budget of $12 million.
God.
I was
like, whoo!
Yeah, wait. For reference, Terminator 2 came out the year after. And that had a budget of $100 million, which was the most expensive movie at the time. So there's no way that an ABC TV movie would have that kind of budget.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Not in 1990.
A budget in the making.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 67% approval rating. That's it. But that's for the whole thing.
Burped in the microphone. I'm upset. This movie scarred me through my whole childhood and into my adulthood. It deserves a better rating. This miniseries, I should say. Without me ever having actually seen it when I was younger. It scarred me, so I think it deserves a higher rating.
Yeah, like that shower scene, like where the shower heads like all converge on Eddie, I think, and just like his face coming out of the drain pipe. That like you, I never saw the whole thing. I just saw clips. But whenever I took a shower, I would literally look at my drain pipe and just wait for Tim Curry to pop out.
See, what scared me the most when I was little was my parents' mailbox is over a sewer grate.
Oh,
and
hell no.
They'd be like, get the mail in the rain, get the mail. And I'd be like...
They'd make you go out and get the mail in the rain?
Yeah, they'd be like, go get the mail. Or like if I took the bus home and I was supposed to like, get the mail and I came home, they'd be like, go outside, get the mail. I'd be like, absolutely not. What fool do you think you play me for here? I'm not doing it. Side note, a few months ago, my dad and I watched some gentlemen rescue ducks from that exact sewer grate. It was really cute.
Oh.
Anyway.
How wholesome.
And it's terrifying. You can see all the way. Ugh, absolutely not. I've always, as an adult, still hate that sewer grate.
I'm really happy that I hadn't seen this movie before today because we have a sewer grate right at the end of our driveway.
Oh.
So that would have been terrifying as a child. And I was already scared because the song Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell, not a scary song, but there's a line, when I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair because I might open my eyes and find someone standing there.
Yeah.
That was me. I thought if I turned around in the shower, there would be someone behind me.
Today? You thought that after watching this?
No, not today. As a kid.
Oh, thank God. I was about to call you and be like, I'm sorry, Dan.
Wait.
Sometimes I still think that...
That's a constant. That's my reality. Yeah. I'm literally will wash my hair and I'm like, just get it through, get it done. Because my biggest fear is like just dead silence and like waiting for that someone to break that silence. And so like when I'm in the shower, I have to have like a music, movie, comedy special, like something has to be playing because I refuse to have, like I said, Tim Curry speak in that Brooklyn accent that he has in the movie.
Hi, Georgie.
Correct, Georgie.
You guys are gonna hate this, actually. So I live in an older apartment building. I don't know exactly when it's from. It's kind of, Dan, you've seen it. It's older.
I have. It's probably the 20s, 30s.
Yeah, 30s or 40s. Anyway.
Are you in LA as well, Anna?
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Austin?
Are you in LA as well, or are you? In,
No, I live in Milwaukee.
Gotcha. All right, sorry. Continue.
It's okay. So the wood, in the seasons, the wood in all our doors warps. So, like, for example, when we leave out the front door in the winter, we have to double pull it, otherwise it won't lock, and the doors will push open on their own, even if you lock them. Just like from somebody walking past them. In the bathroom, that happens all the time. So, like, the door will be like expanding and contracting, and it'll just open while you're in the shower sometimes. And it was really scary the first couple times I lived here, but now I'm used to it. I was also very scared. I used to live here with a roommate, and her boyfriend would come over and like write her notes on the shower when he had gone in the or on the window, or oh my god, I can't talk. The mirror when she was in the shower. Or when he was in the shower, so when she took a shower, it would show up. But then it would also show up when I took a shower. So I didn't have my glasses on. I'd be like, oh my God, there's some freaking writing on our mirror. It would say some bull crap like, I love you, heart, heart, heart. But, I think Gage did that for me once, but I think he wrote like red rum because, that's my love language. So
Oh my God.
Anyway,
wow.
You guys would hate showering in my apartment. Thank you.
That's all I had to say about it.
That's all I have to say about that. We also get creaks that sound like they're coming from above us, but they're really coming from below. It's really fun.
Oh God.
That sounds like a physics problem. Like, how do sound waves travel like that?
I think it's because like the
time warp do you live in?
No, I think it's like from the creaking of the building, like in the wind and stuff. It just sounds like footsteps. I don't know.
I have a question that could lead into a massive tangent, but I won't let it. Do we believe in ghosts?
Yes.
In this? We do?
Oh.
Do we believe in
massive
ghosts?
tangent. I need to... Another reason. This would have been horrible for me as a child, the mini-series we're talking about, because they had these, like, books for kids about, like, supernatural stuff that... It was in the...
That sounds bad.
It was in the Greenbrier Elementary Public Library. They were like these little thin books, and they talk about, like the witch that lives in whatever house, and they'd have random pictures and stuff. And I would devour these books. And then I would be terrified of being alone, of being in my basement and turning off the light and having to run out, of the Police album Ghost in the Machine, because it had the word ghost in the title. That scared me so much that I had to delete every little thing she does as magic off my little iPod Nano because of the album named Ghost in the Machine. I thought it was going to haunt me.
That's the biggest loss. That's so sad, Dan. Dude, if it makes you feel better, I'm going to let everyone in on a really embarrassing secret. So, in case we didn't know. Okay, good. Let's get all our embarrassing secrets out of the way. My hero origin story, or my villain origin story, take that for what you will, is that when I was little, I was really, really scared of everything. I was scared of Halloween. I couldn't even walk down the aisles of, like, Halloween stores. I didn't like scary movies. I didn't like any of that.
Real 180.
Until... I know. I worked at Party City, and we sold Halloween costumes and Halloween decorations, and so people would be like, Anna, can you go, like, stock the fake blood and, like, the killer masks? I'm like, sure. And you just kind of get used to, like, picking stuff up, and it goes, I'm going to kill you. Like, you just get used to it. And
you're gonna die.
Literally. You just get over it. And now I really like Halloween. And, like, people would dress up. It was around when Slender Man was out, and, like, so people would dress up as Slender Man and, like, try and scare us with the costumes. And I'd be like, you can't scare me unless you're gonna buy that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
The
but
only
anyway,
thing scarier than a costume is a purchase.
Literally, these kids would come in, try on a $50 costume, and then be like, credit cards. Debt. That's also why my favorite Halloween song is Nightmare on My Street. Anyway, I'm getting really off topic. The story I'm going to tell you is that when I was little, I was afraid to go to the bathroom by myself because the other girls tried to do the Bloody Mary thing in the mirrors in the bathrooms at my school. And in like 2nd grade, I peed my pants because I was afraid to go to the bathroom by myself. So that's where I'm at with ghost fear, and I let you all in on a big secret, okay? I'm an adult now. I haven't peed my pants in at least 10 years. So
And going strong. Oh, by the way, I lost the game. I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
I
Sir.
know. I'm very sorry.
Lord.
We're all adults.
I know, but you know what? It is
it's okay.
what it is.
It's okay.
After seeing Hereditary for the first time, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Yes, I have.
I'm not a big horror person because, like I think like all of us, like I get super in my head and my overactive imagination will torment me all day long. In any kind of situation, as mundane or as non-terrifying as possible, my brain will turn it into that. And so, like, no joke, for an entire year, I slept with like at least one light on in the room because I was afraid of that one scene where the mother like appears in like the dark corner of the room.
Oh, yeah.
And what's crazier than that is that, or adding on to that, is that my grandma at the time had just passed.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was so prepared.
But no, thank you.
No. I was so prepared to see Nadine Doughty just hanging in the corner of my room, and then her head will fall off and turn into a bouncy ball. And I was
thank you.
Oh,
shit myself.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I think one of the reasons why I'm not as scared of scary movies anymore is because I live with Gage, my boyfriend. It's really helpful to roll over and be like, "Wake up, I'm scared," as opposed to, as I told Dan last week, I think, how I used to have to call my boyfriend at the time and be like, "I'm having a full panic attack because I can't stop thinking about Pennywise the clown." So
We all been there.
the
We've all
dancing
been there.
clown. Pardon me. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
please.
How I'm not there yet. I'm not.
He's
that
like
informal.
friggin' Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. You gotta get his full title, otherwise
Literally.
disrespect.
My bad.
So the one last piece of
Yes, sorry, Dan.
general trivia about the release is it was
Massive tangent.
highest rated show on ABC that year, garnering nearly 30 million viewers over its 2-night premiere. Part 2 was the second highest rated program of the week with a 33 share and 19.2 million viewers.
Listen, the stands will come out in droves, okay? For Steven, the stands are everywhere.
Well, this is an actual line on the Wikipedia page. In a year where traditional television films like Decoration Day and The Incident garnered the most viewers, it was the only non-safe fare in 1990 to obtain the ratings it received.
Not non-safe.
Yeah.
My.
Oh my god, it's so risque. Get
Very
Steven on the
nice.
phone.
The Puritans
Jeez
are
Louise.
having a fit.
I mean, it's definitely not Puritan material. It covers some hard-hitting topics.
It does.
Even though, the real moral is the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
The only thing we have to fear is children doing impressions. That was
That's
the scariest
true.
part of the
Also true.
whole thing.
Also true.
Oh my goodness.
So, let's get into it.
Let's do it. Dan, before we start, remember when I tried to run away to Maine earlier this year?
I do. You were really close to doing it.
I almost did it, girl. I almost did it. This is making me want a lobster roll. I wish we were discussing this while I was peeping some leaves and eating a lobster roll in a big sweater. Okay, let's get started now.
So, starts out. Berry, dairy, banger, dangor, berry, Maine. Dairy,
Oh my lord
Maine.
above. Banger. Or Bangor. Somebody's going to come for me.
Bangor, man.
I always say banger. I said banger in my interview, and that's probably why I didn't get the job. Anyway.
Little Susie Pigtails, she's riding her tricycle. Mom says, come inside. As she comes inside, she sees a little clown in the middle of the laundry hanging outside.
Literally, no thank you.
Cut
Yeah,
to.
no thanks. I'm good.
Cut to. Mother comes outside. Where's the daughter? Screams.
Scene. That's the whole
That's it.
movie.
Girl. Dead.
Ending credits. Roll credits.
I have a question
Alrighty.
already.
Let's go.
I thought that he just ate the whole body because she disappeared, but then they show her being taken away on a
There's
stretcher.
a body
Yeah.
bag, right?
Yeah,
Straight
like,
up body
what's
bag.
the tea on that? I am very confused already. Anyway,
Okay. Full disclaimer, I haven't read the book. So
Me either.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if either of you were like big stans. Like I know. Do you remember Jared Siegel from high
I
school?
do, yes.
So he's like my best friend, and he is a huge Stephen King fan. Like a diehard. Like we were talking about earlier. Like the stans will come out for Stephen.
yes.
He's one of them.
See,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go. You won't go.
I'm definitely a stan for Steven. But that would be if we were talking about Pet Cemetery. That's where I throw down. Absolute throw down.
That's where the gloves are coming
I'm just
out.
intimidated by how thick this book is. That's why, like, she dummy thick. I have not worked with the courage yet.
Yeah. It's a big boy. It's like, what, 1,100 pages, I think?
Yes. Fun fact, Dan, remember when I went to St. Louis to visit a friend?
I do.
My mom listens. He kept a copy of it, like, on his desk as like or on their coffee table in his apartment
It's like
as
a
like a coffee table
conversation
book.
piece.
I guess that should have been a red flag. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm not a big Stephen King stan. I'm much more of a Richard Bachman kind of man.
A man of class.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Stephen King published 4 novels under the name Richard Bachman in the 80s that he was discovered.
Lord above.
That honestly would prove that you're even a deeper stan for Stephen.
But I'm
King,
more
given
of
his alias.
I'm more of a
When the
fan.
stan
I'm more of
runs
a
deep.
fan of the whole thing surrounding it. I've never read one of his books.
Yeah, you just like the mystery,
Yeah.
the intrigue.
Speaking of intrigue, Mike, the first of the losers club that we meet, he sees the chief of police and he's like, another dead kid? And you're like, what is up with this town?
Another day, another death.
And then
I actually love that. I love like how they start. I didn't know how they were gonna start off this because I've seen both the
old and the new,
2017.
yeah.
I've seen the new ones. I haven't seen the old
Okay.
ones. So this is the first time that I've watched
Ooh.
this. I know, and but I know that it like interwove the timelines throughout. So like I was kind of curious how it was gonna start, and I didn't know it was gonna. I was like, oh, it's Mike. There we go.
And Mike, he doing his research, he comes across a photograph, and he doesn't know how it showed up 30 years later. And then he has,
Gasp.
And then he has to go make some phone calls. And the first phone call that he calls is Bill Denbrough, also known
His
as
crusty ass ponytail.
The rat tail.
I just saw John Boy from the Waltons. Same
Not John
that's
Boy.
the actor. with the-
Good night, John Boy.
and yeah, he does have a crusty ass ponytail.
Crusty ass ponytail, check. Glasses that make him look like Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's what I
check.
was thinking too. I was thinking he's like a Jeffrey Dahmer cosplayer.
Oh,
A wife
literally,
who's-
Milwaukee is quaking.
A wife whose only existence in this movie is to say, "Come back to bed. You're being crazy."
I know. She's like,
Oh, dinner's ready. It's getting
know.
cold.
God.
So, Bill, he's a horror writer trying to make it into a movie.
He's Steven.
Yeah, he hears.
I wonder who it's based on.
Right. He hears.
Right down to the looks.
Truly.
He hears that this thing is back, and he's like, "I have to go. My people need me." And then he flies off into space like Poochie. But no, he goes, and then we flash back into his childhood, and that's basically the setup of the first 2/3 of this movie, introducing each character, and then we flash back into when they were a lot more fun, and I was a lot more interested in their characters when they were children.
They're cute as kids. I mean, for real.
So, Bill, he's lying in bed. He's sick. His little brother Georgie is in there with him.
Georgie gives Anna the creeps.
Okay, 2 things. One, it's just the name Georgie gives me. My uncle's name is George. Like, it's not like I'm creeped out by the name, but the Georgie, like, is a little creepy. It also reminds me of when I did a Christmas show many moons ago. Gage was in it with me. It was a spoof on
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. You know exactly where I'm going, Dan. I've told you this story before.
This is for
Somebody
me.
in the audience. So I played Violet, the like slutty friend, and I walked out and I said my line, and then somebody in the audience drunkenly goes, "Uh-oh, Georgie!" And so now that's what I think of every time I hear that name. Anyway.
Well, speaking of uh-oh, Georgie.
Uh-oh, Georgie.
Georgie goes out to play with his little paper boat. It gets swept into the storm drain, where standing underneath is a weird old clown man.
Timothy
Ran.
Curry.
Tim Curry as Pennywise, the dancing, Brooklyn, trying to draw kids in, because there's nothing kids love to do more than float. Clown.
What if Pennywise had the Nigel Thornberry voice?
Smashing, Georgie!
They both Tim Curry?
You'll float too!
I was like, how would that sound, Anna?
I wish he had the brother on the Wild Thornberry's voice.
Donnie? Right? Ew.
Wow, Dan, those were impeccable impressions
Absolutely.
of both of us.
I
Improv.
hated it.
So, Georgie, he's been told don't talk to strangers, but then Pennywise introduces himself, so they know each other.
Loophole master.
Yeah.
That's very like on Forrest Gump, where Forrest Gump introduces himself to the bus driver. Well, now we ain't strangers no more. And he gets on the bus.
To out
Inspired.
myself, in college,
Don't
what I
say
would
it.
do on Halloween, instead of going to parties, is I would walk around with a bucket of candy and give it out to drunk people, because there's no joy purer than a drunk person getting free candy. But sometimes people would be like, I don't take candy from strangers. I don't know you. And I'd be like, hi, I'm Dan. What's your name? Now we know each other. Take some candy. Which I realize now after the fact, Jesus Christ.
Well,
That's a
Dan, you were in
terrifying-
college. That's when
mean,
you're
it's
supposed to make your bad decisions, right?
Yeah, my bad
It's a
decision is
lovely
giving out
gesture.
candy to strangers
That's not that
entirely
bad.
well-meaningly.
That's not that bad, Dan. I made some equally poor decisions. And maybe some worse ones if that's the bar. It's pretty low.
So, Georgie, he's dead at his funeral. Blah, blah, blah.
Rip, rip, rip.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, just quick question. So, like, it says he got his arm. So, I think Eddie, when he's talking to Ben in, like, the dam or the little, like, river area, he says that he got his arm ripped off. Does that mean
Yes.
that Georgie just, like, I don't know if it means to get graphic here. Did Georgie just bleed out on the street?
We can
Yes.
only hope.
Ripped off arm?
Yeah, I would say
And they
yes.
buried him without an arm?
I would say yes.
That's... whew, that
Because
is
if you
some
look at
dark
like all the
shit.
modern stuff, like all the modern movies and stuff, especially with all the Pop Funkos, like whenever you see his ghost and stuff, it's always a kid who has missing an arm, and
Right.
you know.
But for me, the image of, like, them just discovering that he's, like... I don't know. Okay, never mind. I'm moving on.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm moving
Anyway.
on because yeah, I mean they in the newer one they like show that his arm is like fully ripped off and everything. Moving on.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Easy.
In my head canon,
Got time.
this is the Winter Soldier's origin story.
Oh my God, Bucky!
So,
Not Bucky.
Bill goes into Georgie's room and goes through one of his photo albums.
Ugh.
And
Dude.
he sees the picture of Georgie that Mike finds in the future, and then the picture winks at him, terrifying
Disgusting.
one, and the book starts bleeding.
Yeah,
I
As
mean-
it does.
Mood.
Um,
Mood.
as one does.
And he gets terrified, he's scared, whatever, he's yelling, alerts his parents.
The whole fam
Yeah.
screaming, and by the whole fam I mean me watching the movie, and also
And Bill.
the character.
His parents, like all adults in the Peanuts universe, are useless and don't even notice the blood all over everywhere.
Not the Peanuts.
And they put the album back on the shelf, and then Bill is like, "How could I have forgotten?" Future Bill, Back to the Future. Bill's like, "How could I have forgotten?" And then he goes. He goes, and he starts stuttering again because Bill, as a child, has a stutter. And I don't know how realistic a depiction of stuttering this movie is, but
I would understand.
gives it a shot.
I'm gonna just say I think his stuttering is poor, but I also think like as far as it coming back because you remember something traumatic.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the
okay.
logic of why, but like I think it's more of like it's a zest of stuttering, you know? Like it's not
Yeah.
a full on, serving. It's
that-
more of just a little
Yeah,
this is
a
happening.
pinch.
He did that thing
pinch.
where the actor can't really do the accent, so the director says, "Just hit your R's a little hard, or just soften your vowels,
Yeah.
and then the flavor of an accent."
Right. It's the flavor of it, you know?
And then in New York, we see a drunk, bearded father from 8 Simple Rules stumble into a car. That is Ben, an architect.
Benjamin.
Little Ben is one of my favorites in both the modern and the original, and it's because he receives some of the best roasts from Pennywise. And Gage and I quote them to each other all the time, and we can't say them except for to each other because otherwise they just sound really rude, and we'll get to it.
Adult Ben is played by the late John Ritter, and he gets a call from Mike. He's a drunk playboy architect.
In a cool apartment.
The
Super
phone
cool.
cord is hanging from the ceiling like it's just the most ridiculous.
Yeah, his phone
I
is like
noticed that.
like a boxer announcing microphone.
Right.
Literally, I loved it.
It's like, the box itself is on his bed, but the cord is like suspended from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's to show he's an edgy architect, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So flashback.
Show he's rich.
Flashback. Ben he's an overweight kid, and he gets bullied for it.
He's not even that
He's
fat.
not.
The kid looks like he plays football or something. Like he's
Just
not
looks-
fat. He's just big boned.
He's got a lot of water weight, man.
It's a little husky. That's all.
A little chub.
And Mike says to Ben, "It's back." And then Ben doesn't remember stuff a lot. He's kind of blocked it out, or he's drunk. I don't know. What are we supposed to assume at this point? Who knows?
Dick drunk. He was about to get it.
It was. It was.
Until
Until
it happened. He gets himself another drink, leaves the woman alone in his apartment, goes into the elevator, and then he goes to the top of his building, where he's like, well, guess I'll die.
Is that his building? Or I thought he just like went into some random scaffolding that he like
It's like an
owns.
unfinished
I assumed he had the
building.
penthouse,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to my scaffolding place,
My dramatic scaffolding.
He's just looking down upon New York, just like, my city.
Literally.
This is a Batman origin story.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God. Swear
That's
to
right.
me.
Swear to me.
Swear to me.
So, long flashback. Ben just moved to town because his mother has to live with his aunt.
Cute little kid.
The
What an
bullies,
interesting side story.
who are sociopaths.
Oh,
Oh
with
God.
the coolest haircuts
Are you
though.
kidding?
Come on.
Right?
They're so old
The,
for
the,
sure.
the hawk beak.
The flying V. Yeah.
Friggin'
One of
Bowers or
them
Henry
almost
has.
had a crybaby curl too, except it was just straight hair, straight down.
So they don't like him just because he's fat. Teacher,
Literally for what?
I know. The teacher mentions that there's a curfew in town because of the incidents with the dead children, and Ben, he's walking down the street. He's confronted by the sociopaths of Henry and his gang.
Yeah. Isn't one of them called Belch?
Yes.
I love that realization. I had that too. Where
Because
like
he
they're in
burps
the
all the time.
right, and they're in the sewers, and he called him Belch, and I laughed out loud. I was like, "That's his name. Thank God."
Draco Malfoy could only wish that he was as vicious and had goons as perfect as Henry and Belch.
And
And Friend, whoever that is.
It then made me think of I wish that he only could communicate through.
Oh God, he had no other lines.
He's like a Pokemon, just like that's the only way he can communicate.
Oh God.
But everybody else understands him perfectly. Like he's speaking full sentences.
Yeah.
Exactly. The goons all understand Belch, but no one else does.
Yeah.
Literally.
So Ben kicks Henry in the nuts, and then they end up getting. He ends up finding a place to hide in a pipe by the river, by the creek.
The crick.
Yeah, Henry and his friends, they end up leaving because they can't find him, and then Ben hops out and he sees Eddie and the young Bill. Eddie is having an asthma attack.
I love Eddie. I love them all. Ugh.
And they meet. They have a meet cute. They all become friends.
Love that.
And then come back the next day, writing a postcard for Bev, his cousin. And then Ben taunts him, or not Ben. His cousin reads the.
I was like,
Sorry.
Got it, Dan. You got it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There's a lot. This is really plot heavy.
It is a book,
I
so.
know. His cousin taunts him. Ben wrestles him. And then the cousin's like, you're only around here because your mother needed to take you in because of the welfare. We don't want you to be on welfare.
Yeah, we find out his dad was killed in Korea. Yeah. Sad.
What a crazy Pennywise. I'm sure we'll get there, but like that to me was one of the scariest in this. Just seeing his dad and just how just like
slowly.
Hello,
Benny.
son.
Oh my god. Sorry. Okay.
And the way he slowly morphs and it's like,
yes.
it's not a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And also like
It's
just
not
the
a
way
vibe.
it looks too. I don't know. There's just something about like the quality of like the camera or the what. It looks like it's
Yes.
so different. It's
Yeah.
so cool. I love it.
It's the practical effects combined with the grittiness of the film. Oh my
Right.
God. I'm so glad somebody finally. I am so sick of people coming for me saying it's not as scary. No, the new one's not as scary because I can see the CGI. Y'all come for me. I'll literally fight.
The CGI,
anyone.
I'm sure we'll get into, right? Like we're gonna chat about that at some point because that's
Yes.
definitely a talked about topic in this. It's sphere.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The Hemet sphere is actually what it's called.
Oh wow, that was good.
Thank you.
God, you did comedy sports, right?
You know it.
Oh my God.
So as he sees his father standing in the field waving to him, he slowly morphs away from his father into a clown.
Disgusting. Literally disgusting.
And then
filth.
The clown vanishes and a skeleton climbs out of the water.
Me, a skinny legend, honestly.
Skinny queen.
Literally, okay, in case we forgot, I love skeletons. So when the skeleton came out, I was like, yes, queen. I love skeletons.
And then flashback ends. He drops his bottle. He doesn't kill himself. Time for the third loser to meet.
That's good.
I also like low key kind of love that. That doesn't happen in the newer one, right? I'm sorry if I keep like jumping
No,
to the
you're
newer
good.
one, but
That's
like,
okay.
that's my only reference.
No,
But-
that scene does not happen in the newer one. I believe. So this one is closer to the book. I believe in the newer ones, it focuses more. Like we don't really hear much about Ben's dad, and I believe Pennywise focuses more on Ben's insecurities with. Like he has more quote unquote feminine interests in both music and like activities, as well as his body image issues, which is where some of my favorite quotes come from, which is why I can't say them in public.
This podcast is a safe space though, so we should be able
Thank
to
you.
share.
Thank you. I really don't think it'd be appreciated if I walked out into public and went, "Kiss me, fat boy." Like I really don't think.
I mean, but truly, when I was like, oh, that's actually kind of an interesting, like, little, like, plot. Like, I didn't expect it to happen. And I was like, I'd be curious to see how that, like, I don't know, interesting dynamic of, like, yeah, they're there because of, like, you know, his mom is on welfare and her sister's taking her in or whatever. But I don't know, I thought it was cool.
I think a lot of that also comes from the fact that, like, I mean, I guess his dad could have died in Vietnam or something, but this newest one takes place in the 80s, whereas this takes place in, like, what, the 60s?
Yeah, 1960.
Yeah. So there wasn't, like, a huge war at the time that really his dad could have died in.
Right.
Especially
The
since,
Culture
like, so many
War.
of the people. Oh, my God. The Cold War.
The Cold War, that's right.
So I think a lot of the changes came from the fact that they were trying to update the time frame as well. Anyway, we'll get into that next. This is like such an introductory episode to so many deep conversations we're gonna have. I'm so freaking excited.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
I wish you could have
can't
seen her face
freaking wait.
as she said that.
Oh, by the way, before I continue, is swearing allowed? Is that kind of
Oh,
frowned upon
yeah.
in the podcast?
No, you can swear.
Fuck
I swear
yeah.
all the time.
Continue.
Dan doesn't swear much, but I do.
I just wanted to make sure I was being
you're
I was
good.
abiding by the rules.
Swear away,
no,
sailor.
that's okay.
Oh,
You are more than
all right,
welcome.
Taylor.
I try to keep it a little clean just because I have a potty mouth, but that's just me.
I'm with you there.
I
Sister.
strictly keep it clean for Anna's mom.
Thanks, Dan. Mare appreciates it. She's sick of me and all my foul tongue. So
Your serpent's tongue.
literally.
Third loser, Beverly, Chicago fashion designer. How do we know she's in
Queen.
Chicago? She's got to get to O'Hare. That's the line that sticks with me.
It also said Chicago, Illinois on the bottom of the
Nah.
screen,
I had subtitles on. They were covering that. She said
Daniel.
O'Hare.
That's T. Toulouse on too.
Both Dan and I heard O'Hare, and we were like, we know that place.
Hey.
Okay, Gage always makes fun of me because when we did Ocean's 11, every time they showed something, like when we got to the movie that took place in Vegas, and also, wait, the first one, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Those
First
whole
and
movies
third
blended
take
together
place
for
in
me.
Vegas.
Thank you, Daniel. I would point out things to go, I've been there. So anytime something like that happens, like O'Hare, I have not been to O'Hare, but I've driven through a terminal to drop somebody off. So I've been
Hold on.
there.
You've driven through a terminal? That's a
I don't
crime.
know. No, wait, no, not the terminal. Wait, the drop off, the gate.
Yeah.
I was at a gate. It was a traumatic day. I got stung by a bee that day, Dan.
Come on, Dan, leave her alone.
Yeah, Dan.
How did this get turned on me?
Yeah, Dan.
Dan, how would you describe O'Hare in one word?
In one airport, probably. If I had to give
To
one
perfection.
word.
Love it. No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
I was gonna say big.
I was gonna say nightmare.
I would say I can't do in one phrase. It peaked with Home Alone 2, and it's been all downhill from there.
Preach.
So
That's it.
yeah.
That's its tagline. We peaked in Home Alone.
So Beverly, she's with an abusive boyfriend, whatever their partners, whatever.
Abuse cycle,
She gets the phone call. She throws stuff at her boyfriend's head,
as she should, queen.
and then
Get 'em.
flashback. She's making breakfast for her dad. Ben shows up. He leaves a postcard for her.
Can we recite the poem?
Can we do it line by line? Each of us take a line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Anna.
I want to take the last one. Oh, I like the last
Your
one.
hair is winter fire.
Dance 2 words.
Big oof.
Jan-
Big oof.
Your hair is winter fire, January embers. My heart burns there too. Dang, Dan.
Sorry.
It's like you never read a poem
Boom.
in your life.
The outlook wasn't bright for the Mudville Nine that day. The score
God,
stood
no,
4-2 with but one more
No,
to
Dan.
play.
Stop. We believe you. We believe you.
Oh my god.
So, her father is not happy that she got a postcard, because she shouldn't be hanging around with boys. She's 11, so he starts smacking her around. To quote the
There's so
synopsis
much
that
to
I'm reading,
unpack.
it says he starts smacking her around.
Oh,
That's a
I would
phrase.
just say he starts abusing her.
Yeah.
Just
And
abuse.
just cap it there.
Also,
she
the
runs
belts.
off. Ben finds her. They go to the woods where they're building a dam.
Damn.
Damn.
With
Oh no. Oh no.
they're building a dam with Bill and Eddie, and then they're approached by Stan and Richie.
Dude.
Richie is one of my favorites.
Cool
Ben's
guy,
my
Seth
favorite.
Green.
Richie's my second favorite.
Richie's my favorite, both
Yeah.
child and adult,
Well,
because child Richie is Seth Green.
yes.
And adult
King.
Richie is Harry Anderson, another king, star of Night Court.
Oh,
I have
Absolute
to
legend.
adjust. I also love Eddie. I think I'm thinking of because in the new one, I love adult Eddie,
Uh-huh.
and I also simp for Bill Hader,
Yeah,
who plays
We all
adult
do.
Richie.
as we all do.
As we all
Simp,
should.
Yeah.
As
simp
well.
for Bill.
Simp for Bill.
So they work, they make the dam, it's a success, and they get a pretty big pool at the end of it.
They do.
Right?
A substantial. I also love earlier in the series where like Henry and the goons, they just like kind of, I love it. They just start kicking the rocks. And at that time, I didn't know what they were doing. Like I didn't hear them talk about building a dam specifically. So I thought they were just kind of kicking the water.
Take that.
I was like, ooh, bullying was bad back in the 60s, man.
God.
They kicked their pools.
Honestly, the whole dam thing, like, I get it. That's what the kids would do for fun because there's not really much else to do. But, like,
Damn.
how lame. I probably would have kicked their pool around, too, TBH. Just kidding. I probably would have been building the pool.
So, Beverly, she thinks that Bill wrote the poem, not Ben, which, of course,
Boo!
sends Ben.
Honestly,
Like
Bill
about
can
a
take a
big
walk.
He doesn't say anything, though. And then they go home.
Crusty. Should have owned up. Crusty. Lets his brother die. First mistake. Then he takes the poem and says it's his. Double homicide. Throw him out. And that's why you'll never hear me say he's my favorite, even though James McAvoy plays him in the new films. Thank you.
Still the
We know I
podcast's profile picture, James McAvoy.
I'm thinking of changing it to just a picture of Bill McAvoy. Oh my God.
Of Bill Hader.
James McAvoy from the new It movies.
Yeah.
When we get to it.
What episode of this is this?
This
by
is
the way,
episode
of this
70 of In Conclusion.
70?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! Where have I been? I've been under a rock for 70 episodes. What the frick?
Tell your friends. Listen to us.
Oh my god, no question now.
Yes.
So,
Call me Patrick.
Beverly, she goes into the bathroom where blood starts coming out of the sink.
Scarring,
Because she
jarring,
hears voices
absolute
coming
nightmare.
from the sink.
More blood.
High key
please.
though, that's what it looks like when I dye my hair.
Her father comes. He doesn't see any blood. He thinks she's just freaking out because she's a woman.
Oh, I mean, that's what we do. Am I right?
Oh man.
I'm the dad in this situation, looking at the sink, going, "What's going on?" And Gage is Bev, going, "There's literal red hair dye all over the sink. Can you do something about it?"
And you go, Gage, you're being crazy because you're a woman.
Gage, you're
And then you
being
walk
such an
out.
emotional woman, Gage.
Just a little tinge of gaslighting, maybe a little sexism. You goof.
just to keep the romance alive. We always sing "Gaslighter" by the Chicks whenever
There you
we
go.
joke around like that. Always.
I've never heard that, but I know the song exists, so I always think it goes to the tune of "Sunflower" by Post
does not.
Malone. You're my gaslighter.
It does not. It goes
Fuck with me,
"Gaslighter." So it's like sort of, but not really.
That sounds kind of honest. I was
Yeah.
like, that sounds pretty similar.
Next, Eddie. He's on Long Island. He fills up his bag. He's got pills.
yeah.
He's got medicine. You know, he's not a hypochondriac. He's just chronically ill.
He still lives with his mom in this
He
one.
does, yeah.
He's got a dope vest too.
And his
Dope
mom looks
fest.
rich. And I think he's rich. He owns a taxi company.
does.
Or
He
like
owns
a
a
limo
limo
service.
company.
Yeah. Him and the
Honestly, you
homeboy.
get it.
Uh,
Because he said he was dealing with Al Pacino, right? My king?
Yeah. The Pacino case or whatever the hell.
Yes. Ugh, goals.
So, Eddie's flashback. He's at a movie theater watching I Was a Teenage Werewolf with the gang. He kicks a bucket of popcorn over the railing, and it lands on Henry, along
Just
with
their
soda.
luck.
Also,
Uh,
that's
well,
a
that's
tall,
because Richie stands up and goes, "F you," and dumps the whole... He doesn't actually say F you.
dude.
if he
But
did.
he dumps the whole soda.
When I saw him do that, my jaw dropped. I went, no way. This kid's a sat. This king shit. King shit.
Shit. I was like, I know this is the 60s, but thinking about how expensive movie theater popcorn and snacks are now, I went
my
into
God.
cardiac arrest. Full stop.
So they run out. They run through a swamp and the sewer where Ben saw his dad's ghost.
In that scary, like, sewer thing.
Yeah.
Hate it.
What? Yeah, that like the like mausoleum kind of looking thing. It's like a
Yeah.
big structure. You're like, what is that?
I think it's like so that the workers can get in there, like
Ah.
if they need to get into the sewers for some reason. I don't know.
It's for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so they can get in and out.
You're right, Dan. I'm sorry. I'm a fool.
Please.
Gosh.
Please.
Unbelievable.
My bad, everyone.
So they get to Eddie's house. His mother chases the rest of them away because she's like, "You shouldn't have friends."
Yeah.
Sad.
You just
tragic.
need your
She
mom.
literally
Dirty.
shelters him. She's like, your only friend is your mother, and don't you forget
Yeah.
Don't you forget it, Edward.
it. Literally.
Don't you forget it, Norman.
Ew,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
So-
Eddie's a little more
Oh,
normal
yeah.
than that, thank God.
True.
Yeah.
He next day his mom also tells him, "Don't go playing with boys in the gym class. You can't have you getting sweaty and dirty and germy."
Ugh.
So he doesn't
Okay.
shower after gym.
I'm going to ask you this. Now, this is a weird question, so don't take it to be weird.
Strap
Did you,
in.
ever shower after gym in school?
Wanna go first, Dan?
Sure. I didn't. The
I
only
didn't.
time that I would have was when I took swimming for my gym class.
Yeah.
But I would just I
100%.
didn't care, so I would just be chlorinated the rest of the day.
Me either. I just, go rinse my hair off in my swimsuit and,
Yeah, and change.
I wouldn't get, booty naked.
Oh, not the people who shower. They wouldn't get naked. They still have their
No.
suits on and wash.
I mean,
no.
I will say this though. During that stay, because I was in the same boat too, where I only did it ever if it was the swim,
Swim unit.
part
Yeah.
of our. Right.
Yeah.
But I always kept my swim trunks on. However, there were
Yeah.
those couple alpha males that were like, "Look at what I got," and I was like, "I'm just gonna focus on my hair."
Those are the kids who peaked in high school.
Oh,
that
yeah.
They literally, that's all they had to hold on to.
Dead ass.
There's a different
We're
way
not
to word
afraid
that.
to show.
That's the only thing they
No,
had to
you
hold
know
on
what I
to.
mean? The only thing they
They
had,
did not let go.
the only thing they had to stand on was
Another way to word that.
Another.
Okay, they were very proud. They were not ashamed of their
There we
bodies in high
go.
school, unlike the rest
Yeah,
of us.
nailed it.
I got there eventually.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I had a very healthy dislike of my body in high school. Thank you.
Not past tense. Have. I just keep it at the have.
Likewise.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I guess so. This is a body negative podcast.
Do you like
Love
your body?
yourself.
How? Why? Teach us.
Literally, can you teach me?
Yeah. What are the secrets? Tell me your secrets.
Diet and exercise. But
Is there another
yeah.
way? I did just smash some Oreos. Is there another way where I can continue eating the Oreos
Is it
and not have
Oreo-
to run?
An pro Oreo diet, please.
So Eddie, the gym coach, makes him go take a shower because he's like, "You're a sweaty boy."
Which feels weird.
I was
ew.
ready for it to go weird.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
You have to go
I
shower, and
was
I'm gonna
like-
supervise you. What?
Also, okay,
And I'm gonna make sure you get yourself nice and clean.
so Dan, can I talk about this next part?
Yeah, you explain it.
Okay, Eddie's trying to shower, and he turns on the shower, and there's nobody else around. Cool. He doesn't have to deal with the body negativity thing. And he is starting to shower, and all of a sudden the shower heads start coming out of the walls and spraying him, and he grabs his towel and tries to get out of it, but he can't. I like to think that in this scene, it was just a bunch of adults holding shower heads on long sticks, just waterboarding a child. Absolutely just drowning him. They're like, yeah, get him.
Oh my god. There was the shower head wrangler, so he was conducting and everyone
Yes.
extend.
Literally, I feel like if I was there and I'm holding it up like a boom mic, and they're like, okay, Anna, get in there with your shower head. I would just straight to the head, Kill him. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Don't
too fast.
kill him,
Anna,
but-
too fast. We go slowly.
Oh.
We go slow, and now we got it.
I saw that little motherfucker go in for 2 sandwiches off of the catering truck today. He's getting it.
So Pennywise sticks his head out of the drain. He's like, "Hello, Eddie. Want to play for the
Disgusting.
Dodgers?"
Stop. You're literally giving me chills. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I am having anxiety.
This is not the second time that my
Okay.
acting has given someone chills.
Not in a good way, Dan. Just kidding. It is a good way, I guess.
You can't lie, Anna. It is a good way. Gotta be truthful.
I'll support you this time.
Eddie, he runs out wheezing as Pennywise
Wheezering.
talks. Say it ain't so.
Weezer starts playing.
Weezering. Yo, I saw Rivers Como at that concert at the
At that
the Hella
concert.
Mega. At the Hella Mega. He's looking wild these days. He's got the mullet and a stash. I was like, sir.
Speaking of 90s musicians looking wild, do you know Fred Durst, lead singer of Limp Bizkit?
Oh my god.
I'm familiar.
Do you know? Look up what he looks like now. Oh wait.
Fred Durst?
Yeah, you know how he looks. Just he looked like a douche most of the time before.
Correct. I mean, it's Limp Bizkit. Oh no.
He has changed his look completely. Now he looks like he's
my god.
trying to be a 70s porn star with like bleach
I was
blonde
gonna say
hair.
he looks like he's gonna call me brother. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like he's giving
Hey,
Hulk
brother.
Hogan.
Oh,
I really
It's
hate
just
it.
one of those
I
days,
wish
brother.
I really wish you hadn't made me look at that. To be honest,
yeah. He's got the handlebar and everything. Holy.
that's not a vibe. If you ask
And
me,
the big red aviators. Okay, dude.
it's not a vibe.
Yeah, no.
Next, Richie. He's a comedian. He's a guest on what is functionally the Tonight Show. He's supposed
He's kissing babies and signing autographs.
He's supposed to guest host for Johnny Carson next week, but he has to call it off because he gets the call from Mike, and he's like, "I gotta go." And he's really
Gotta
bad
get out of
for
here.
being a
Gotta
comedian
blast.
and a performer. He's really bad at coming up with excuses, which I feel like is the number one thing that you come up with.
I
also-
mean, I also am terrible at coming up with excuses. So
I also love how in that scene where he tells, I'm assuming it's his manager or whatever, in his like gorgeous Beverly Hills house or Bel Air, whatever, he like he tells him, he's like, I have to go, and he's like, well, tell me why. And he like goes, I'm sorry, I have to, and puts on these sunglasses. Keep in mind, it's complete nighttime.
Yeah,
And
it's
his
the middle
manager
of the night.
runs out, he scurries out of frame or whatever, and then he takes the glasses off. And I was like, what was that?
for dramatic effect, obviously.
It worked. I was enthralled.
I was looking up to see whether or not that mansion was actually it was in Canada. They filmed the whole thing in British Columbia.
These
They couldn't
freaking
just film the whole
Canadians.
thing in beautiful Maine? Beautiful Banger?
Maybe you really want to move to Vancouver.
Bang-a-langer.
Maybe I googled some pictures of Maine, and I have not stopped thinking about it since. I almost did it, Dan. I almost moved to Maine, and then I didn't get the job, and everybody was like, thank God. And I was like, why didn't you say something when I was having the crisis? And I actually applied for the job.
So we then flash back to a young Richie, and it's Seth Green.
Adorable, truly.
For the fourth
King.
episode in a row, we're talking about Seth Green.
Maybe he should be our profile picture. Just kidding.
The kids, they're talking about what they're going to do when they're grown up. And then Bill is like, I got to tell you something serious. I don't want you to laugh. I don't want you to make fun of it. And they're like, we're not going to laugh. We're not going to make fun. And he's like, when I was looking at Georgie's photographs, the book had started bleeding. And then
Is that your stutter?
That's a good impression. That was great.
Well, Dan, honestly, better than John Boy.
I was trying to figure out how to transition into the fact. Then the cop comes down, trying to figure out why none of the drains are
Irish
draining.
cop.
Random Irish cop with a heavy Irish accent.
Hello there, lads.
know
What
why.
are you doing down here?
Top of the morning,
You hear
James,
that
Mary, and
there's been
Joseph.
another murder in town?
I don't know why. I don't think the cop in West Side Story is Irish at all.
Officer Krupke.
Yeah,
Officer
but I got the
Krupke.
Officer Krupke song stuck in my head as soon as that cop hit the screen.
I also love how he just kind of like up front was like, just like, hey, by the way, y'all shouldn't be down here. Another child, one of your classmates got murdered.
I know. They're
So,
so
like-
nonchalant. They're like, another day, another dead kid.
Really? That's dairy Maine for you, Chief. Like,
Ugh.
it's
Eats
then,
lobster roll.
and then he was like, yeah, all right, you guys agree to be, together if you come down here and like fuck up the plumbing for the town. All right, hands in. 3, 2, 1, team.
God.
I'm convinced that that's actually Pennywise.
Dressed-
Dressed up, telling the kids to all stay
conspiracy.
together.
Wow,
Ooh.
Daniel.
That
As
was
if
my
they're
first
all
thought
afraid
when
together.
I was like, why is there a random cop in the middle of the woods checking out that? I don't buy that excuse. The
Let's get
plumbing
Steven
isn't
on the
working
phone.
because of one tiny
Steven?
children's dam. No.
Let's get Steven on the phone. Hey, Steve, it's me, Anna.
It's Anne.
Your neighbor, your best friend, your could have been neighbor, your fellow lobster roll eater. Was that cop Pennywise?
Will his answer be, I was too high while writing this to remember anything?
Oh my
His
God.
answer will be, why do you have my number?
Who are you and how did you get this number?
I'd be like, ugh, another Stan.
Oh God, not again.
Next day, they're at school. They have another meeting with the bullies. The bullies rub potatoes on his glasses.
Which literally, what is
They
it
just
doing?
slide
They don't even
off.
stick. Yeah.
Richie, he runs
Sick
into the
burn,
principal
dude.
after that, which the principal has the most over-the-top reaction.
Oh yeah.
Truly.
He just, like, top of his lungs just screams, Richie.
And
I
then tells
know.
Richie to go clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Like
What?
he doesn't say like, "Oh, get the janitor to do that."
Or, like, go to
He
the
goes,
office or something.
Get the mop from the janitor and clean it up yourself.
From Bev's dad, who's the janitor.
Oh, what a
So
fun
you know
Yeah.
he's probably off being crusty somewhere.
So Richie, he goes to look for the janitor. So he goes into the basement by the boiler. Since it's Bev's dad, that would actually make sense.
Yeah.
He, not to be like rude, but he probably would be in there getting drunk, you know?
Yeah.
Not saying that that's what janitors do. I'm saying that's what this specific janitor
Anna
doing.
is saying that all janitors get drunk
I was
at
gonna
all
say-
times.
Yup.
You
Yup.
better not be making just broad janitor accusations.
Nah.
I would
I've
not-
known many a good janitor in my life.
We have nothing but respect for janitors, custodians, what have you. You
I-
keep the world
They
running.
do the things I would never do.
I
If
was
a
gonna
kid
say-
pukes, they're on the scene, you know? Couldn't
Is-
be me.
Is janitor is that a PC term nowadays? I feel like that's kind of like saying like midget. where it's
Custodian,
Like, yeah,
I think it's custodian or sanitation manager or
there
something
you
like
go.
that.
That sounds more 2021.
Mhm.
Custodian. I think janitor's just like janitor.
It's outdated.
Yeah.
They're more than that. Anyway,
Anyway,
Doing the things I don't want to do.
Seth Green sees the werewolf in the basement.
He hated the scary movie. The werewolf was so spooky. Doesn't he know? Silver. That's all you gotta use.
I'm also pretty sure that this werewolf is just Michael J. Fox from Teen Wolf trying to catch a break. But,
yeah, a little cameo.
Maybe it's like, I know that the movie didn't, or the music video didn't come out until the 80s, but maybe Michael Jackson traveled back in time.
just testing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just testing the waters.
I was really spooked by the end of the Thriller video when I was little, when he turns around and his eyes are bright yellow.
And it's just
And
the
then just,
freeze
like,
frame.
Yeah.
it slowly zooms in, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, spooky. Honestly.
So Richie runs back into the cafeteria and screams, "There's a werewolf in the basement!"
And
There's a troll in
everyone
the-
dies of laughter.
I think
There's
that's
a
the
troll in
funniest
the
joke
dungeon.
in the world.
Oh man.
A
and
troll
then
in the dungeon.
there's a troll in the dungeon. He is the quarrel of
He is.
this elementary school.
Just thought you should know.
And then, time for Mike's story. He's looking at old photographs, and then he remembers back. He was given a presentation about basically how Pennywise or something exists, and talks about all the disasters that have happened in Derry's history. To which the teacher responds, "What an interesting, if not disturbing, presentation."
I'm
bit
gonna say
morbid.
it. It was the 60s. I mean, I'm surprised like that she was that chill about having a black student in her
Yeah,
classroom.
right?
I'm not gonna lie. This is a seemingly woke. I mean, it is Maine, so it's the North, so probably like not giving them enough credit. But the 60s were rough altogether. So
In
Just to
the
get a little historical.
1960 presidential election, Richard Nixon carried the state of Maine by 15 points.
so that would be. Oh God, Dan, please.
Oh wait, yeah, no, that's not good.
That would be.
That's not good, correct?
That's not good.
No,
Okay,
not
thank
good.
you. I really needed help. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Maine's very rural and spread out, and
I mean, they're all. I mean,
Lots of
Henry,
farmers.
Henry does whip out the old N bomb.
He does.
He like, confronts him. In the
oh my
street.
God, yeah, and he
Which-
calls him boy too, which I
Oh.
was like, oh.
And you know what's
Before you
actually-
even said the N word, that really shook me.
I heard this fun fact that apparently the actor who plays Henry Bowers, after each take of when he says it calls him the N-word, he like apologized to the actor who plays Mike. And I was like, that's so nice.
I saw he would
would've done
apologize
the
like
same.
before and after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was
would
really
too.
concerned about where you were going to go with that. And you're like, I heard this fun story, this fun fact.
Hey, give me 1 second. My computer's dying. I just gotta turn on the charger.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, like I'm going into like, actually black people back in Maine. Like, oh, please stop now.
Are you
The
back,
magic of
Anna?
editing.
I'm back.
Great.
I thought it was
back.
turned on, but then I realized it was plugged in, but the strip was not on. So,
Anna, are you originally from Milwaukee?
yeah, why?
I love you have a tinge of an accent. And I love it.
Oh, she has more than a tinge of an accent.
I was trying to be
Thank
polite,
you.
Dan. I was trying to be polite.
It's okay. I know I have a thick accent.
I love it, though. I think it's delightful.
Thank you. My boyfriend is from Chicago, and well, he's not from Chicago. That's a big fat lie. He's from Kankakee.
There you go. I was going to say,
and
we're
so-
also from Chicago, a.k.a.
Yeah.
Northbrook.
No, he's from Kankakee, and he makes actually everybody I've ever dated has ever always made fun of how I talk.
I love it. It's fun.
When we met, we did that same show. The Christmas show was supposed to take place on the south side of Milwaukee, and everybody was doing the accents, and I was like, how do you do that? I literally don't know how you're doing it. And they're like, oh, we're just talking like you. And I'm like,
Mother.
yeah. I'm
Got
doing
it,
Little
guys.
Shop.
Thanks.
Literally, we're doing Little Shop of Horrors right now, which is why we had to record so late tonight. And one of my lines is, the dentist goes, do you have the handcuffs? And I have to say like, oh, they're in my bag. But because I'm me, I'll be like, oh, they're in my bag. Like, I need to really work on it because that's not how people from New York talk.
You drop like
Anyway.
Yeah, just keep watching
Wait,
this. Get the Pennywise voice. Hey, they're in my bag.
Hey, they're in
They're
my
in
bag.
the bag.
Let me smoke like
Erect.
6 packs before I go on stage.
An actor prepares. Wait, are
Yeah.
you who you playing?
I'm understudying for Audrey, so I'm having one performance. But
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Very fun.
thanks.
Not so
Yeah,
awesome.
I do have an accent. It's okay.
Not so back to
Yeah, back to it.
Not so awesome.
Mike, Henry's gonna put a firecracker in his pants and just blow his ass up.
I mean,
And then
But then Good
That's not
Samaritan.
the Good Samaritan
soda pop.
shopkeeper across the street goes, "Hey, stop that!"
one person is like, I can't have a hate crime in front of my store.
Go down the street and do that.
Do that in front of my rival. I don't want that bad publicity here. Bad press.
So Mike, he grabs the photo album back and he runs. Henry chases him, and then back to the friends. They're all like, "We've seen things too," and then they start expounding.
You want to know what blew my mind? Is when
What?
Eddie was surprised. Eddie says something like, oh, maybe it's a guy dressed up in a clown suit. And I thought back to that scene where he gets scared, and I'm like, that man emerged from a shower grate. Are you telling me?
Then we
abandoned the
have
shower
not just a
grate.
clown problem.
Yeah, I was
We
like,
have a magical pedophile problem.
yeah, this is more than just some dude in a clown costume. Like, this
Yeah.
guy emerged from the sewers, like, and
In a high
opened
school.
grate.
Disgusting.
I really
God,
wish
I-
Or
that
a
we.
middle school, whatever.
I really wish that I put titles on each one of these episodes because the title for this one would be "We Have a Magical Pedophile Clown Problem."
I mean,
So
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
yeah, so Mike runs over the ridge and meets up with the Losers Club, and then Henry he runs over and he's like, "Look at all these losers! You're a club.
Look at all those
You're
chickies."
a Losers Club, right? I'll get you someday." After they start pelting him with rocks.
That's like that scene out of the original Suicide. I thought of like that when Rick Flag is like, "What are you, some kind of Suicide Squad?" It's
Oh,
like, "What are you,
God.
some kind of Losers Club?"
I love that though with the loser, and then they change it to lover. Oh.
Wait,
If I
is
was
that-
a basic, which I am,
Mhm.
I probably would get that tattooed on my arm. the loser lover
is
thing.
That's in the newer one though, right? Did they do the lover
Yeah,
one
it is.
in the? Okay, I was like, I missed that if I did in the old
I
one.
just love it. I
that-
just think it's so
I
cute.
assume they all have a come to Jesus moment listening to Taylor Swift's album Lover.
Oh, yeah.
Always, you my lover. Ooh.
They're like, hey, that's us.
Oh my god, that's me literally pouring myself a tea and being like, I also leave my Christmas lights up till January, but it's because I'm lazy, not because I think it's like quirky.
Good save.
So then Henry retreats, saying, "Not I'll get you," or I'll beat you. He goes, "I'll kill you! I'll kill you all!"
He's terrifying, and in the next half, there's a scene specifically that scares the crap out of me, and it involves when he's in the mental hospital.
Oh boy.
You'll see. Dan, I'm taking you on a roller
You
coaster.
really
I hope you're
are.
buckled up.
So they all the gang starts looking at the photo book.
Hate this part.
They see
Hate it.
they
Oh,
see
dude.
Pennywise in all these
Nope.
photos, specifically one where he does a Jesse White tumblers routine down the middle of the street.
He's going for gold.
Does Singing in the Rain off of a light post, and then pops up
Truly.
in living color out of the book right at them.
No,
And then
thank you.
s-
There's
and-
so many times where he could have just grabbed a child and was like, I'm just, playing hard to get. I'm just teasing.
Well,
Because
that's
he
what
could have grabbed somebody.
that's what he loves though, is the fear, right? He's like, that's what he feeds off. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's what he feeds off of, I think.
yeah.
Like, that's the be all and end all of it. You know what? I have something. Oh, my God. I keep thinking of things I want to say, but I have to wait, and it's just so terrible, truly.
Oh, we're gonna get to the end, and it's gonna be glorious.
I know.
It's gonna be catharsis to the max.
Anyway.
So then the kids are all like, shit.
Yeah, is that
They're
what
all
like?
like,
They're like, shit.
hey, shit.
I guess we
They're
gotta
like,
do something
"Oh,
about
crap."
this. Even
We gotta
Stan.
kill
Oh,
this fucking
crap.
cloud.
Stan, who's now the last person to have seen Pennywise, he has to believe it too. And they're like, "You saw it, Stan. You can't say you didn't.
Poor
We all
Stan.
saw it."
The Boy Scout
Mm-hmm.
King.
Literally,
And then
Stan.
so
Stanny.
Mike, he was writing all of this at the library, and then he looks up, and there's
No.
bloody footprints in a balloon on the desk.
It was me.
Yeah, wipe your feet.
It was me when I worked at Party City.
Hey, sir, you forgot your balloon.
Oh God! One time, a woman yelled at me because I left her balloons on the counter, and they got all tangled from people walking in and out. And she made me untangle them while she watched.
Ew.
I hated it there.
I like the ending of that, and she watched too.
Yeah, I was like,
She's
she
like,
probably
yeah.
tangled them
She
herself.
was breathing heavily, just going, "Yeah,
Yeah, untangle them.
Next one.
bitch.
like those
Next one.
nuts."
Ma'am, I'm 16.
I think this is an
Keep
offense.
untangling.
I think this is
Keep
a
going.
federal crime.
Ma'am, please.
So then we see Stan's flashback. He recites the Boy Scout oath. I was never a Boy Scout, so I can't recite it. Were you, Austin?
Nope. I
It's
just bought
very-
Girl Scout
oh, sorry.
cookies.
It's very similar to the Girl Scout promise. I can do it.
Do it.
On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Thank you.
Boom. Crushed.
Thank you. I was a Girl Scout for a
thank you.
long time.
How were the cookie sales? Did we crush that? shit?
Banging. I was the top seller
Banger!
every year 'cause my mom was the cookie mom.
Ooh.
Wow.
We would do these coffee and wreath sales for orchestra in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
To raise money for the music
hell
programs.
yeah.
And I would go door to door. I'd do my thing. I'd sell the wreaths. I'd sell the coffee. And neighbors would be like, "Oh, sure, I'll buy from this mysteriously old-looking 7th grader."
I'd be like, why is somebody's dad on my doorstep?
Hi, you want to buy a wreath?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would always try my hardest to sell the most, and I would never get anywhere near being the top, because the people who would win would be like, their parents would own like car dealerships.
Yep.
So they would just be like,
That is correct.
"Hey, buy a wreath for my kid. Why not?" So they'd sell like hundreds of
yeah.
these things, and I'd be like, "There's no way for the hardworking man to get by in this country," and that's what radicalized
Dan,
me.
I'll let you know right now. I was also the hardworking man. I had that sweet combo of my dad always took the cookie list to school, but my mom couldn't because she was a principal and she felt it put her teachers in a bad situation. So in January of every year when I was growing up, my mom would drive me around the neighborhood for literal hours. I'd ring doorbells and bother people and hawk my Girl Scout cookies for hours and hours and hours. God, some people, like, if they don't like Girl Scout cookies, they'll say, like, oh, I'm allergic. But, like, if they like Girl Scout cookies, it's like, fuck yes, I'm here for 10 boxes right now. You got any samples? When are you coming back? Like, it's insane.
That's wild.
Anyway, the losers, they're having a slingshot competition to see who's the best. And guess what? It's not the boys. It's the girls.
It's the girl!
It's always the girl, baby.
Sick!
We're the best at everything. Men are trash.
So,
Anyway, this is a man-hating podcast. Relinquish your masculinity before you enter.
Down with the patriarchy.
Thank you, Dan.
Queen.
So...
Anyway, I don't actually hate men all the time.
Just like once in a while.
Just like most of the time.
Just Tuesday evenings.
There's like 3 cool dudes that I know.
And none of them are on this podcast.
None of them are.
And neither of them are.
It's like Gage.
Andy Hurley.
And like... Oh! I'm sorry.
What did you
Continue.
say?
Andy Hurley, the drummer for Fall Out Boy.
Oh, sorry.
So fine. Okay, I think I told you this, Dan, but when I went to that concert, when Andy Hurley came on stage, I was like, I'm cool. And then Andy Hurley walked on stage. Gage was with me. I grabbed his hand and went, and I looked at the group I was with, and they were all staring at me. I was like, I really was not expecting that to happen. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I caught a glimpse. I was so overcome.
So speaking of overcome, Richie tries to get Beverly overcome with emotion by giving her 2 earrings that he stole from his mother's jewelry box. Just kidding. Those are the ammo that she's going to shoot at Pennywise to crack open his head like China.
Iconic.
Stan, he's a skeptic, but they all go towards the sewer, and they take a shot from Eddie's inhaler.
Was the funniest thing. Like, I gotta take my inhaler, and then fucking, I don't know who was. I think Seth Green was like, let me get a hit of this shit, man.
Let me get a hit. Puff, pass.
Give me a hit of that battery acid.
Yeah, I'm really upset that after one of them took a hit, that they just go, ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's the good stuff.
That's the good.
Where you get that from, man?
Yeah, so Henry, they were just outside. They were sneaking, and they're going to come in, too, because they're going to kill these motherfuckers.
Lest we forget his promise on the mound. I'll kill you all.
Yeah, and if Henry is one thing,
Truly.
he is thorough.
He's a man of his word.
Yeah. Henry, they follow, and his goons, they follow him in, including Belch. The monster Pennywise appears in the form of a bright white light that is
iconic.
It is going through a machine, is what it says in the subtitles, but it's really just a tube. That goes and like pulls Belch,
dude,
into the sky.
That freaked me out when his body basically like came together and he like did like the backwards like pike dive shit thing, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yes.
Oh my, and his eyes like kind of glassed over, and I was like, that is scary.
Mm-hmm.
It is scary.
So, you know, Henry doesn't notice.
Henry was like more like it just, oh man.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
And then the monster it kills Belch. He goes to take Henry, and his hair just turns bright white,
like Doc Brown.
Yeah. Marty, there was a light.
Lord.
And then Stan, he catches up with the group after he runs off, and the monster soars above them like a turtle shell, kind of just glowing sky above them, and then turns into a mist. The kids, they're all alive, they're all holding hands, and they're like, don't let go. But in the mist, they start seeing these like apparitions of trying to draw them out. Bill sees Georgie.
Always classic.
Ben sees his dad. And then Beverly also sees her dad. I don't know if Ben actually sees
Disgusting.
his dad. And then
I don't think Ben sees anything.
Seth Green gets felt up by a werewolf.
Right?
Yeah, he like gets like a sexy massage. Like,
he's like, "Ooh, I got a Groupon for this."
ooh. Wait a sec. Oh, you guys are scared. Me too. Ah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
no.
We're supposed to be scared.
Stop.
Oh, this is so scary, you guys.
And then Stan, he's trying to save himself by just reciting the Scout's Pledge over and over and over, which is, yeah, I'd do it too. You know, keep your mind on it.
Yeah.
But the clown, Pennywise, grabs Stan. He's like, "I like to frighten kids because it makes them taste better, baby. Love the Mets. Love the Mets. Love them.
We love the Mets. Love the Mets. Love the Mets."
But then
It's so good.
Eddie shoots battery acid into his face. Not actually,
Classic.
just asthma medication.
Asthma meds.
And then Beverly shoots Pennywise with the silver earring, which cracks his head open like a egg.
No
Yes.
scope headshot 360.
And there's bright light shot. Yeah, what Austin said.
Yep, gaming.
I play Valorant.
Oh yeah, what's that game called?
Valley Pass.
Oh.
Has Anna disappeared now too?
No,
Dang
I'm
it.
here.
Oh.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, you turned your
We can still
camera
hear
off and
you.
we got really scared.
I was just trying to change my background and I couldn't, so I'm sharing this picture of Andy
Oh
Hurley with you
yeah,
right now.
baby.
Just wanted to make sure the thirst levels were high.
You have
That's
to
what I'm
you
talking
have to post
about.
this along with whatever you would actually post for the Instagram,
Look
so
at this
people
guy
can understand
cheat.
what picture we're talking about.
Oh my god.
I
this
had
is
a diagram of all his tattoos at my desk at the radio station. It does not feel appropriate to have that at any other workplace.
So anyway, Pennywise, he hops down the drain to escape. The kids try to grab him, but his hands turns into like a 3-fingered
claws.
claw.
Like this?
Yeah, like the shirt you're
Oh
wearing.
snap! Wait a minute. Wait, a little
Step
bit
to
to
the
the
left.
right. Or
Yeah.
to your right or left. Yeah, there you go.
Terrifying.
You hear my stomach growling
Love it.
into the
Love-
microphone? Oh, I look fat for the I'm sitting like that. Thank you.
So
Show and tell over.
Pregnant. I looked pregnant. No, thank you.
No, you've got the cool tuck and you got the cool shirt tuck, so it's
Thank you.
So
it's
I
fashionable.
was trying.
the gang they run out, they escape. They're like, if it ever comes back, we gotta do something. You gotta promise, you gotta swear on it. Go around in a circle.
Swear to me.
Sit back to Batman. Swear to me.
They go around in the circle. Everybody swears to do it except for Stan. Passes by him. He's still
Oh.
nervous, but at the last moment, he sticks his hand in and he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, I'll do it." Stan is unable to fulfill that promise. His wife comes up to see him, to give him a shoulder rub and a rest of the body rub.
Yeah, it was so sad because they were definitely, it's sad for other reasons, but they were definitely about to boink.
But
Dude, she was ready.
she walks in.
She was like,
And she got a beer in her hand too. She was
Yeah.
like, "I'm bringing him a fresh cold beer." Like
She was trying to loosen
Did you
him
see
up.
that the brand on the beer? It was supposed to
His
be
beer
Miller,
brand.
but it just said beer.
I screamed. I was like,
Yeah.
not the beer.
Damn it! I didn't
Okay.
notice that. Damn.
Before you say anything, Anna, I just need to I have one more line.
Say
one
it.
more line.
He's so close.
So
Say it,
let me
Dan. Finish us off. Finish us off,
Dan's
Dan.
been trying for an hour to just get the plot summary down.
I won't allow it.
So
I simply will not allow it.
Stan, he's lying dead in the bathtub. He's slit his wrist. He has committed suicide. But on the wall, written in his blood,
Oh my
are
god.
2 letters. It.
These motherfuckers.
Ba-ba-bum.
And then I assume it would cut
Cliffhanger.
to black. It didn't. It kept going, but I
I-
paused it. And
yeah,
then that is the
for
end
us-
of
for-
part
for
1
our
of
viewing.
It.
Boom.
I'm proud of myself for knowing that was the middle point. I just would like to point out.
Having never seen
And I'm
it
sorry for not
before-
approaching it with more delicacy.
Oh my god, that
In
was
the
so
group
funny.
chat.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Dan, why the sad react? You are not treating his suicide with the reference it deserves.
I'm sorry. Hey, y'all, pause the movie when Stan kills himself. Okay, thanks, bye.
When Stan turns the lights out.
I have to ask, Dan,
Uh-huh.
since both of you, since neither one of you had seen this version before, was that a jarring text to receive?
I was like, oh, well, I know what's gonna happen. I hope that's not a big twist.
Nah,
Oh.
not really.
Because I haven't
Wait,
seen either
Stan-
of these, so I didn't know. I have no
Oh,
idea about the plot or anything. I just know that Pennywise exists.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you've never seen either, like, in the new version or the old one?
Correct. Neither of them.
Let's go, dude. Oh, this is so fun.
I will apologize to you in advance. The new one has hella jump scares.
Ah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
liked this because there weren't.
I know,
Egg
I
boy.
kind of lied to you.
Ah,
I manipulated you.
gaslighter,
Sorry.
gaslighter.
I
Egg
didn't
boy.
mean to. I literally was like, "Oh, we're gonna do
Dan,
it,"
sing the
because they're
song.
not-
Sing the
You're
song,
a
Post Malone.
gaslighter.
Oh my
You
god!
lied to me too.
I literally said to Gage, I was like, "We're doing it because there's not a lot of jump scares." And Gage was like, "You might have forgotten because the last time we watched one of the It movies, you said it was so calming you fell asleep, but there's a lot of jump scares."
The first
Listen,
of
anytime there's a Scars guard on the screen, I feel safe.
the screens guard.
The screens guard.
Dude, the first jump scare that comes to mind is Egg Boy.
I swear to you, Dan, in the new ones, there might be more jump scares, but some of the lines are more hilarious.
Okay.
So good.
So it'll balance.
I'll
for
be
you.
fine. I watched these in the middle of
Yes.
the day, so
There you go.
See, yeah,
We
I
w-
did too. It was
yeah.
interesting.
So
We watch Stars in the Morning.
Austin, I'll ask you first. Since this is the first time you've seen the old one.
Yes.
Sorry,
Oh,
Anna has
I-
her hand up.
Teacher,
Yes.
teacher.
I'm sorry, wait. Here, let me raise my hand in the chat. I had a thought,
Yeah,
Dan.
he did it.
Should we hold off on doing like our actor replacement for this one specifically, since it is a whole
Yeah,
long thing
that's
and
fair.
stopped
We
in the
can do
middle?
it. We can wait until the
Oh,
end to
man.
do that. That would make more sense.
I'm gonna prepare
Okay.
a whole presentation. Then I got plenty of time to answer this question. Let's go.
Oh
baby.
my god.
Let's go.
But-
Cite your sources.
I got a works cited page.
Oh,
I
love it.
believe this person should.
So
Love it. Can't wait for that essay. That's
Oh.
that.
It's coming.
since this is the first
And
time
LA only.
you've seen this version, what do you think about it?
You know what? So I loved, and again, sorry if I keep dipping into the newer versions, but
I think it's important to discuss both. I think
Okay.
that's okay.
I just don't want to get ahead of our discussion. So
No.
I
How many times have I done it? Like
there you go. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Good point. I loved the part one of the 2017 one. I loved it. I thought it was so good, so fun. It was like
Yes.
the perfect blend of like spooky and like on the edge of your seat, but also like really fun and adventure, kind of like Goonies-esque, like where it's like
Oh.
they're fighting up one big like kind of evil. It was fun. I had a great time watching it. And the second one to me was a little like, personally I felt it was too long.
Mhm.
And so we're gonna get into this. I know.
honestly, shook. Okay.
And so no. So I was curious. I knew that this was a one big cohesive
Mhm.
piece, and it was only like 3 hours long. And I think the second part 2 was like 3 hours long in the newer version, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It was long,
Yeah.
and I was like, shit. I'm curious to see how it's gonna play, with it being the timelines being interwoven.
hmm
And I really liked it. I thought it worked really well. I thought that certain things kind of were a bit rushed, but that's just because I think I had the perspective of seeing it more fleshed out, like the build up to like fighting Pennywise and like all the kind of different scenes in like the 2017 part 1 version. So to me, some parts felt like a little bit rushed, but I did like the concept of them kind of interweaving the timelines of when they were kids and when they were older, and like how it all kind of. I liked it. I thought it was the storytelling was well done, I think.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's funny that you say Goonies-esque when talking about the new one, because
Mm.
and not this Anna, my girlfriend, walked out while I was watching this, and she was like, and she ended up watching like the last 10 minutes of it, and she was like, this is like the Goonies. It's really fun,
Yeah,
coming together.
right?
And I got that vibe completely too. I thought this movie was super fun.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was scary at all. That's also
No.
because time has passed and there are scarier movies. And it's a 90s TV movie, so you get what you expect. But I think the kids are all great in it. The relationships between them, like I believe all that. They have such good chemistry. And I don't know if the pacing gets worse in the second part. From the reviews that I read, it does. It gets less interesting because the adults are less interesting.
Let it be up to you to decide.
I will. But I liked the way that they set out the backstory used to introduce each character, and then that would explain the Pennywise stuff going forward. I don't understand why people think that Tim Curry's Pennywise is scary.
I'm glad you said something.
Because I thought he was goofy, and because a lot of it was because of his accent. I thought he said it like the Love the Mets guy.
Love the Mets, then we're Love the Mets.
When it's my turn, I will tell you, Dan.
Like, yeah, the teeth are scary, but and the concept of Pennywise is scary, but I don't think execution-wise, Tim Curry's Pennywise was all that scary. It was more just like, oh, okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is because, again, for the 90s, this was this is one of Tim Curry's most iconic roles. Next to, like, in my opinion, I'm not super well versed in his stuff, but
Isn't
like
he in Clue?
he's really
It's Rocky Horror. Right?
Yes, he is. Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror.
Obviously, the Scary Oregon and the Beauty and the Beast Christmas special.
Home Alone 2.
Yeah, like he.
King.
And
like,
Nigel
in all
Thornberry.
seriousness, Nigel Thornberry.
Oh,
yes.
shit, yeah.
So he has a lot of iconic roles. This is one of the more iconic roles for children and adults, I would say. The reason why it's so scary for me personally is because when I was too young to watch these films or this film, I would see the picture and create something in my head. I think for a person who was kind of afraid of their own shadow growing up, seeing something and knowing that the whole plot of it is that it goes after children specifically was really jarring. The fact that something could disguise itself as nice and seemingly friendly, and specifically with Tim Curry, like the colors are so bright and vibrant. With the modern remake, I shouldn't even say that. The 90s is like not that long ago.
Comparatively, it's modern.
Yeah. With the more recent remake, Pennywise looks dirtier. Pennywise looks less approachable. If I was at a festival and I saw two clowns and one was Tim Curry and one was Bill Skarsgård, I would keep my children away from Bill Skarsgård first. I would honestly say, even though he is daddy-wise.
Oh, thank God you said it. Daddy-wise.
Something about daddy-wise. Like, like the colors are a lot brighter, more approachable, and I think it's the fact that he does seem so, like, unassuming is what makes it so scary. And it's like he's all the places you expect to be safe. You're driving down the road, you're taking a shower, you're walking down the street in front of your house, playing outside, and he's always there, watching you, knows where you are, knows what your biggest insecurities and fears are. And that's deeply unsettling. Thank you.
That's so interesting that you bring that up. Like the kind of, because I mean, for me, when it comes to scary movies, like I have to watch them in a certain time of day, or like the time of day will dictate how terrified I am to like look over my shoulder, if like, or like how easily I'll be hit by a jump scare.
Oh, like, yeah, I definitely don't think I'm going to be able to take off my makeup in peace after this. So.
Oh, it's and like it's interesting. Because also when the time, it's such a different vibe. I mean, I think Daniel see it immediately when the new one, when we watch the new ones. Like the tone and just the look is so different. Like the series is so much brighter. Like even like Georgie, like with the sewer scene, with the right. Like I even like was noticing him kind of running down the street, and like it was like a sunshine storm kind of thing, or like like it was raining, but it was like sunny, and I was like, wow, what an because like in the new one, it's we got a cameo.
Sorry, I saw Poppy and my heart
Sorry.
just raced.
I had to carry my cat across because she was about to walk out the laptop.
Oh,
She is the love of my life.
she wants to be on camera. I don't blame her.
She does.
Let her be on camera. Damn.
I was sorry to cut off your point. I'll let you get back to it in a second. But I was at church on Sunday, and they said they were having a pet blessing for pets on Thursday. And I was like,
St. Francis of Assisi.
I was like,
The feast of St. Francis of Assisi.
is Poppy gonna be a Catholic cat? What? Do cats
Yes.
have religion?
What?
No, I think the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, they always bless the pets
Oh.
because he's the patron saint of animals.
Anyway.
Hit him with that Catholicism,
Sorry.
man.
You know, I got you.
I got you, fam.
I'll wear my good Catholic girl shirt next time.
Oh, I got a Stephen King shirt that I'm gonna wear next time personally, so I'm excited. It's not gonna be it related, but I promise
What
is
is
King.
it related to?
It's The Shining.
What?
The Shining.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love The Shining. It's my favorite movie.
to wrap up, to really complete the cosplay, I will go as 80s Stephen King. So I'm just going to be coked out of my mind and not remember this podcast.
You better have that crusty ponytail, or it's not complete. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Better have that crust. But no, I it's such an interesting like tool that I first became aware of like really when I saw Hereditary back like in 2018 or whatever, and like there were so many scenes in that where like it was dark and kind of spooky, but there were also plenty of like super unsettling stuff in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And like and if like you can do it well, it works so well because you're like, oh, it's daytime, nothing goes wrong in the daytime, or like you were saying, like, oh, I'm just walking home from school, or I'm in the shower, like nothing, it's so mundane, it's so commonplace, nothing could go wrong. And then like you insert horror into that's cool.
I think a lot of that comes from just the idea of like doing these things, this is when you're vulnerable, and that's what makes it so much scarier,
and you're unexpected, like the you know.
Now I need to write a horror movie that takes place entirely on the toilet.
What is it going to be called? Like The Shitting or something? I don't know.
The
That was
shitting.
a horrible
The
joke.
shitting.
The shitting?
Pooping.
The shitting.
The pooping.
The pooping.
I got some trivia for you about this.
Yay.
Oh, let's get it.
So, the top piece of trivia, as you said, Austin, Jared Blanchard, who plays Henry, would apologize before and after to Mike Hanlon, or to Marlon Taylor, who plays Mike Hanlon, every time he used the N-word, before the scene and after the scene.
I spoiled your trivia.
I
Sorry,
mean,
Dan.
I would too, TBH.
On the...
I was saying, watching it, I was like, I don't know how he can do that. I would not be able to.
Yeah.
I'd feel so uncomfortable.
On the day that the kids go into the sewers, it was raining, so the production didn't have to set up fake rain. God smiled
Love
down
that.
on them.
Yes, indeed.
The weird furniture in Stan's house is supposed to show that something is off with Stan, because apparently all his living room furniture was really fucked up.
I didn't
really?
notice that. I was too busy thinking about how they were literally about to boink.
They were going.
I was so distracted because they were getting jiggy with it on screen until, like, Stan was literally, like, ready to go. And then he got that phone call and was like, nah, fam, it's not happening ever again.
That's crazy to me. When I was like, wait, he's just going to straight up, like, end it right just out of no. Whoa.
Sorry for ruining that for everyone. I just wanted us to stop at the same time.
Oh, wait, do we assume that they haven't the audience hasn't watched it yet?
No.
No, they have.
Oops.
I meant
Just
for you
us
two.
two.
Everyone is the three of us.
Oh, well, I already saw the newer movies, so I knew
Oh,
that was
yeah,
happening.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
sorry for ruining that for you, Dan.
No, you're not.
I'm a little sorry.
Alice Cooper was considered to play Pennywise.
I love Alice Cooper.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, I just was so excited. That would have been everything. No offense, Tim Curry. You're a star and you're an icon. But
Alice
nothing but
Cooper.
respect for
That would be-
my King Herod. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Oh, my fucking God. I love Alice Cooper. Oh,
That would be so interesting to see.
fucking God. Love
gonna-
Alice Cooper.
We're going to take a minute for Anna to process
Yeah.
that thought.
I love Alice Cooper. My first record, actually, my parents got me a record player, and my first record was Muscle of Love by Alice Cooper. And then I went in the basement and took all my dad's old Alice Cooper records. Did you know that Alice Cooper actually used to be a band, but then Alice Cooper himself was like, "Nah, I'm going solo," and just took the name.
I didn't.
Did not know that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell was also considered for the role of Pennywise.
Oh, but Alex from
Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Interesting.
Eyelashes on the bottom of my eyes.
Wait, now I kind of. Oh, interesting.
Hot take, not a huge Kubrick fan. I know you just said you love The Shining, so it's not a vibe for me. I like The Shining.
Mm-hmm. Well,
didn't love Clockwork Orange. It was too artsy fartsy for me.
I love that shit, man.
I'm sorry.
I love that shit. I am an A24 whore, dude. Like that artsy fartsy
I was
lighthouse.
Just talking.
The lighthouse. Oh.
One of the other guys in the Little Shop cast, actually, the guy who plays the dentist, I was talking to him the other night, and he was going on about how much he loves A24 too, and how much he loves Hereditary and The Lighthouse and all that stuff. So that's actually really funny that you mentioned that.
Anything that like, and I this is not an original thought that I had, but like somebody said it once that like anything that like I walk away with more questions than answers. I know it sounds super stupid and artsy fartsy, but I do love that. Like stuff like The Lighthouse, where I was just like, what the hell just happened? Or like, friggin' like just certain things in The Shining. I'm like, what is going on? I have no idea what this means, but I am interested.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read House of Leaves?
No.
You should. I'm reading it right now. I'm almost done, and I don't understand a single page of what I just read. So
I got that. I got that feeling with Little Women. I was like, they're not that small.
Daniel, I hate you. I love Little Women.
Same with
Just
James
the
Giant
musical,
Peach.
not like the
Peach ain't
book.
that too big, man. That ain't that big. You know what I'm saying? Maybe medium sized.
And then the last piece of trivia is that Jim Carrey was considered to play adult Eddie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Pennywise, and I was like, what?
Me too. I was like, what in the Grinch? We already have that. Like,
what in the Grinch?
We already have her, so.
Yeah. Interesting. I could see that, though.
I have a fact.
Oh, wait, I didn't bring any facts.
You did.
This stinks.
You brought it up way before. The apology fact.
The apology? Oh, okay, you know, but I stole that from you. I feel unoriginal.
No, you're fine.
I feel like
I'm not original either. These are just the top things on the IMDb trivia list.
Boom!
I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to do my best. Basically, it's just the story of how Tim Curry, like, when he was in the costume and stuff, he'd, like, joke around with the kids and stuff to show him that he wasn't, mostly Georgie, to show him that he wasn't, like, very scary in real life because he scared him so much when they were filming the scenes.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I just think that's really sweet and cuddly, and I love that.
I have a fact as well now.
Ooh.
Yes,
building
go
off
off.
of that and building off of The Shining. Same kind of deal where I believe that, I don't know if it was Kubrick or whoever was handling the kid who played Danny, but they told him that the movie wasn't about, obviously, his father being an axe murderer and trying to kill them all, but it was about, like, a teddy bear. Oh, we got another sighting.
Ms. Pop.
Miss Pap. But it was about, like, a teddy bear or something, like, totally, like, throwing him off. And so all, like, the scenes that he, like, was playing in, he was not, obviously, like, you know, understanding of the full... I thought it was interesting.
He just thought it was, like, a fun movie about going around a hotel.
Literally, exactly. Right.
No, I love that. I love those kinds of facts. Like, I know they're kids and, like, they sign up to be in these... Well, they don't sign up. Their parents sign up.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute.
Stuff. But I just like how accommodating people are because, like, it's so... You can think about how, like, there are so many people in the industry who'd be like, it's a child, like, they shouldn't be here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, and then you just hear, like, people doing the most to be kind, and it just makes me happy.
Yeah, like, watching, like, little, like, behind-the-scenes footage of that movie Insidious, and, like, that guy who's, like,
I haven't seen that yet.
Lipstick monster or whatever his name is. I don't know what the proper...
Guy that looks like Darth Maul?
Yes, exactly.
Not Darth Maul!
But there's these great behind-the-scenes roles where, like, you see him, like, chatting with the little kid, and like there's another guy helping on the side saying, "Okay, little Johnny, this is Steve." And Steve's like, "What's up? I'm Steve."
I love that kind of stuff. I honestly, like, as an adult, if I was filming a movie like that, can Steve come introduce himself to me? Because I'm a nervous Nelly, you know.
Dude. Yeah, well, that I think
Steve...
it's mandatory.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, if you're dealing with the kids in a horror movie, that's got to be, unless they're not in interacting with like
Yeah,
the
unless they're
demon or
completely
whatever at any
separate.
point.
Still, be like, please introduce yourself to me.
Yeah.
Anyway. Ugh,
Anyway.
my heart.
Boom,
So
fun
warm.
fact.
Since we're doing the actor question, we're saving that for part 2. The only question I have for you is, Austin.
Oh, snap.
On a scale of 1 to 5 shower heads, moving, coming for you, not stopping.
Uh-oh.
What do you give this movie?
The first half?
Yeah, first half.
I would give it... I'd give it a solid 3 fully extended shower heads.
Fully extended water.
Fully extended water pressure at the max. 3 of them.
Why'd you take that second bagel?
Anna, what about you?
I give it 4 because I love it. It's scary, and I'm probably gonna have nightmares tonight, but it was worth it. You know, I really love it.
It is
I
iconic
don't know.
for sure. It's iconic.
I'm just a Stephen King stan, and I don't mean to be. It's gotten me into some. Can I just say something like a hot take?
Uh-oh.
I have no disrespect by this. No disrespect. Oh, this is gonna be so controversial.
Do it.
Oh my god.
Do it.
If you think it applies to you, it probably does. If it doesn't apply to you, you won't think it applies to you. Stephen King fans sometimes are the biggest neckbeards I've ever met in my life.
She said it.
And
you heard it.
I only say that because I was an idiot when I was single. I put on my page like, "Oh, I'm into Stephen King," like blah blah blah, and so many dudes would message me and be like, and I'm like, okay, it's a book, and like it means different things to everybody. And again, I say that full well knowing there are lots of people who love and cherish these pieces and like aren't really weird about it, and I hope I'm included in that. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, but I specifically this story, like, it's silly to say this because it did scare the crap out of me when I was little, but now those are the things that I look back on and laugh, and I think that part of the reason why this means so much to me and why I would give it 4, even though it is kind of cheesy, is because like those are stories that are funny to me now as like an adult, and even just like looking back on the way I might have acted 2 or 3 years ago before I watched it for the first time. And it just brings me joy, and it's fun things to talk about, and I love a theme, especially a spooky theme. Thank you.
I'm gonna split the difference. 3.5. I think it's fun.
Okay.
I thought it was fun.
That's
Good time.
higher than I would have expected from you for a horror film.
This doesn't come
Dan.
off as a horror. That's not when I think of horror. I think of like jump scares, and this one felt more like an adventure movie. This felt way more like The Goonies
Yes.
than it did Paranormal Activity.
People often refer to it as more of a coming-of-age tale
Yeah.
than of an actual horror
It's
book.
like Stand By Me, but
Yes.
with
Right.
a clown.
And, you know, in the book, a child
by
orgy.
Yeah, the child orgy. That too.
But we're not going to talk about that. I just wanted to make sure that people know we're not stupid and we know it exists.
Well, I'm not going to be sharing this episode on the Stephen King subreddit anymore.
Don't tell them. I'll say it one more time. Fan bases are toxic no matter who you stand. Full stop.
There's a
Full stop.
great quote that I heard once. It was like, nobody gets more, and this was specifically about Star Wars, but like I think it applies to all fan bases, like
It does,
hardcore fan
for
bases.
sure.
But it was like, no one is more like picky or critical of Star Wars than Star Wars fans.
Correct.
It's like because they
Because-
have a certain way that everything should be based on what they know, based on what they've read and seen. So like, it's just impossible to please them all.
For sure. And like when you I was a One Direction fan when I was younger. People
You're insecure.
don't let you be just a fan.
Don't know what
Like
for.
you have to know every detail. I'm ignoring you, Dan. You have to know every detail of everything, and like it's toxic, and it takes the fun out of liking stuff, you know.
Where are the locations of Harry's 4 nipples?
God, if you don't know this.
No, normal, and then he has one on his side, like on his ribs, and then the other one, I believe, is down closer to his pelvis.
Okay, we're gonna
Gold
wrap
star.
this episode up. If you like In Conclusion, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/InConclusion, or you can follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter @and In Conclusion, on Instagram @In Conclusion Podcast. Best way you can support us is by spreading the word, telling your friends, and telling them where the location of Harry Styles' 4 nipples are. If you want to find me on Twitter, I am @DanO'Keefe86 or on TikTok @NotDanO'Keefe.
What?
Austin,
Wait a minute.
where can they
What's
find
up?
you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram @Without a Doughty. Doughty's spelled like dough, but TY at the end. It shouldn't be pronounced that way, but that's how Bruce, wanted it to be. So, Without a Doughty on Instagram. Follow me and, yeah.
Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram @AutomusPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter @AutobotsRollout, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll and the O in Out are Dan.
Zeros.
Whoa, little passeroo and a spike.
So, we will...
And,
No, go, finish.
I was just going to say you can visit my pages for more hot Stephen King content.
Hey!
Well, we will be back next week with some even more hot Stephen King content when we finish up the 1990 version of It. So tune in for that. In the meantime, everybody stay safe, have fun, and get vaccinated. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That reminded me of a very nasty TikTok that I saw recently. Nope, let's carry on.
A Creative Land podcast.